project.
Okay, good. So now when we have opened the Scratch project, what we are going to do is we are going to go to File and then click on Load from your computer. If you are trying to open the project that you have already saved in your computer, you need to click on Load from your computer. Fine. Now when you click that, it will open the location where you are keeping your projects. So now you need to open that project that you were previously working on. I had saved it as Jumping Batch 12. So you would have saved it with some other name, let's say. So whatever the name was, open the project that you had saved yesterday. You can see the date also to confirm. Yesterday was 9th February. So this is the 9th February's project that we have made. I have made. So I'm going to open this one. Okay. So let's see where we were, and then we will start from there. So we had made the code for the cat and the hedgehog, and it was working something like that you can have the hedgehog coming from the other side towards the cat, and you need to jump to avoid touching the hedgehog. But right now, if you don't even do that, the things are kind of working fine. Working fine in a way that you still can see that even if the hedgehog touches the cat, you still do not lose the game or the game does not stop. We have programmed how the cat would jump, how the cat would behave, but we have also programmed that how the hedgehog is going to move. But we still have to fix what happens when the hedgehog touches the cat. So if you want to do something that is related to the characters touching each other, so what you need to do is use an if condition. If condition can be used to determine if the cat and the hedgehog they have touched each other. So in this cat code, the code for the cat, not for the hedgehog, the code for the cat. So we are going to first introduce, or we are going to first. Sir, I was absent yesterday. Yes, Abdul Rahman, I know that you were not there yesterday. So what you are going to do is see what we are doing. And I have the recording of yesterday's class also. So I'll try to share it uh, in the group. Let's first do that actually. In the meanwhile that we are having our class. So let's upload the video also. And in order to upload the video, I'll go here on YouTube. It says upload video. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And now I will upload the video here. I generally keep the videos saved in the E folder. This is something that I'm doing right now. You don't have to do this. So you can see the date of the projects also here. And generally, you are level, we're actually batch 12. So why don't I make it batch 12? Yes, fine. Now in this batch 12, see this is the 9th February recording, this one. So I will upload it here. And this is jumping game part 1. Copy the link. Next. No, it's not. Next. Next. Once again, next. And I want to make it public. Copy the link here. and just publish that. It will automatically publish, but I can share the link in the group for
Sir,
yes.
what is the name of your channel?
Sorry?
What is the name of your channel?
It's basically not, you can't say that it's a channel, channel in terms of that I do not use to promote it. I do not actually promote it, but there are a lot of videos in that. I can share the link of the channel if you guys need it. See, it goes view channel on YouTube, and this is the link. I would just copy that link.
What's the name?
It's under my name right now. See, the name is Umar Jabe. I have not made it as a channel. I have just made it as a personal space where I can upload the recordings of your class and other batches that I take. So you can see that there are not a lot of views. Basic reason for not having a lot of views is simple. I do not promote this channel. I do not work on this channel as if it is a channel. It's basically like a working space, but you can see that there are rarely any views on that. Not a lot of views. It's simple, very less views. There might be one video which has kind of more views, but generally there are very limited views because only the kids who are taking my classes, I only share these with them, and when they watch it, only then I get the views, more views. So yeah, so this is actually not a channel, but this is kind of a place where I'm keeping all my videos, all my lectures that I'm taking. So I generally post these things here. I do not make it as you can say a channel. I only operate it as a sort of a place where I can put my videos. So when the kids need to watch them, he can watch them here. I will share the link of it here in the group. Yes. So you can go to this channel. Let me write it also. You can use this link for the videos related to classes. Now, back to business. That's where we were. So in this one, what you see is that we have made a code partially for the cat and partially for the hedgehog. Now we need to put conditions in this game. Currently, we have not put any conditions. The conditions is basically the very important structure of your coding, of your programming, game development, or any kind of coding that we do, any kind of programming that we do. Conditions are a very important part of that. Conditions tell your program or your computer what should be done in case there is an event or something has happened. Like we are now going to put a condition, and that condition will tell us what to do if the cat has touched the hedgehog or if the hedgehog has touched the cat. So these kind of conditions, they are called if then statements. You call them if then statements. Okay. So if then statements or these conditions, that is a part of the control of the program. They control what your program would do. Okay. In case something happens. So if statements would be available in the control block. So we will go to the control section first, and then you will see that there are two statements. One
If
is
touching
if then,
OB ball.
if first one is if then, and the second one is if then and else. We are not using if then else right now. If then else tells you to what to do if a condition is true, and also tells you what to do if a condition is false. So we are going to right now focus only on this part which says if then. It will help you to do something if the cat touches the hedgehog. So touching is a sense. So that portion you can find it in sensing. Sensing has a block which says touching mouse pointer. Okay. So you are going to bring that out and put it in this diamond part here. Now you need to change something because you don't want to see if the cat is touching the mouse pointer. You actually want to see if the cat is touching the hedgehog. So this is your other character. So in the cat's portion, you have brought this if then block, and in if then block, you have put this
Sir,
touching
I
statement
am
here.
helping Ayman because she doesn't know what to do.
You are helping Eman because she doesn't know what to do. Why she's not listening to what we are doing in the class? Or she's having a
वो
trouble
कैरियर
understanding.
से नहीं आ रहा.
से नहीं आ रहा, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं. तो आप उसे सिर्फ हेल्प ये कर सकते हो कि उसको लोकेट करवा दो कि कौन सी चीज कहाँ पे पड़ी हुई है. एमन अगर आपको कोई चीज नहीं समझ आ रही तो आप मुझे भी बता सकती हो कि आई एम नॉट गेटिंग समथिंग
बनाया तुमने.
एंड आई कैन ट्राई टू हेल्प यू आल्सो.
ये बनाते हैं. Notice.
अच्छा Zirar, can you tell me where is Eamon stuck right now?
Sir, she has made what we कल वाला सारा बना लिया Ayman. नहीं.
No, why?
सर कल का भी सारा नहीं बनाया कैरियर. मैंने जंपिंग वाला. सर मेरा बना हुआ है, मैं इसकी हेल्प कर देता हूँ और मैं कल से देखूंगा कि मेरे साथ बैठे और सारा करे सही.
Okay. So, Eamon, if you don't complete something, you can also tell me that we have not completed it, and also you can take help from Zirar. He can help you, no issues in that. But you need to keep your pace in a way that you are with us when we are doing something. Now you are behind us. Okay, when you are behind us, it would be difficult for you to understand what we are doing right now if you haven't completed the previous parts. But have you completed this part in which you are changing the costumes and waiting for 0.1 steps in between? Have you completed that part, this part? Not this one also. Okay. See, I will give you time so that you can complete this. But still, if you don't understand anything, you can ask me also that I'm not understanding this. Please repeat it. Or if you want to sit for like another 5-10 minutes in the class, I can start the class after it ends. But you need to inform me that you need help. Okay. So now listen to what we are
Okay,
doing
sir.
right now. So we want to check that if
इसको
this
छोड़
cat
देंगे.
touches
अभी
the
तो सब
hedgehog.
बना रहे हैं, वो इसको छोड़.
So we need to figure out if this cat touches the hedgehog. Okay. So for that, what we need to do is, I told you that this is kind of a control thing. It will help you control what you are going to do when something happens. So you are going to go to the control section and bring this if then block out. You are going to need it. You are going to use it. How you are going to use it? You are going to use it to check if the cat and hedgehog are touching. So touching is a sense, and we can get the senses from the sensing portion. Here it says touching mouse pointer. We need that. We don't need this touching color because we are not going to pick a color. We are going to pick that if a character is touching the other character. So for that, we need to use this first one, which says touching mouse pointer. So you are going to bring that inside the if then block. See, it has a shape with edges on this side and edges on this side. And this is also a similar shape. So you can put this block, inside this shape. So once you do that, now it becomes a condition. And it helps you to check if something is happening or not. See, it says that we are not touching the mouse pointer right now. But let's see that if we are touching the hedgehog. Right now it says it's false. We are not touching the hedgehog. Let's move the hedgehog a little towards the cat like that. Okay, now see, what does it say? It says true. Right now the cat and hedgehog are touching each other. So whenever the cat will touch the hedgehog, this will turn into true. Otherwise it will remain false. So if touching hedgehog is true, if this is true, then what is going to happen? What is going to happen is that we are going to stop this game. We are going to stop our characters. And to stop our characters, stopping is also controlling your computer or your game. So you're going to go to the control section, control block. Here you would find a button which says stop all. So you are going to bring that out and put it inside this block as a code right now. So this will first check if the cat is touching the hedgehog. If this is true, it will stop all. See, let's say that if this is happening, and if we figure out that the cat is touching the hedgehog, it is going to stop. But we want this to happen always. See, currently the cat touched it, but nothing happened. It did not stop. Why? Because we would have to press it or we would have to run it to check if it is happening. See, now it stopped. It stopped exactly when the cat touched the hedgehog. But if I run the program, you see that it would not work because it is not checking it always. It is only checking it when I check it, when I touch it, when I click it. It does not check it when I am not clicking it. See, I clicked now, but it was checking and it was not touching. Now again, and now it is touching, so it stopped. So if we put this block inside this forever loop, it is going to happen forever. So it is always going to check if the hedgehog is touching the cat. See, now when the hedgehog comes near the cat or touches the cat stops running. So now this game will become difficult. Okay. Now you would have to be careful if you have touched the hedgehog. So you need to avoid touching the hedgehog. If you get a little closer to touching the hedgehog, see, this is also counted as touching, your game would stop. So this is what this game would be about. It stops when you touch the hedgehog, but it keeps on moving when you are
Sir,
not touching the hedgehog and jumping properly. Yes,
don't we have a variable that says score?
we are going to have that also. But first, let's figure that out. How are we going to score points? Okay. So we can create a variable. We can keep track of score. That is the next thing that I was going to tell you guys, that we need to figure out that how good are we in this game, right? We need to figure out that if we are playing this game and if we are scoring good points, it means that we are good at this game. And if we can't score good points, more points, it means that we are not good at that game. And also when you are going to compete with someone, let's say you and your brother or sister, you play this game and you take one turn each. So to decide who is a better player of this game, you would figure out who has scored more points in this game. So whoever scores more points, we are going to call them winners. And those who do not score that much point, we are going to say that they are not very lucky or they need to try better next time. So we can do this by keeping a track of score. Okay, we want to count score. So score is going to be counted every time this cat successfully jumps over the hedgehog. Okay. So if this cat jumps over the hedgehog successfully, you will get 1 point. If this cat does not jump over the hedgehog successfully, you will not get any points. So in order to score the points, we are going to look at the hedgehog. We want this hedgehog to count score every time it reaches this point and goes back here. So there is one code block that is figuring that out. This code block, this basically figures out this basically figures out that if the hedgehog has touched the wall and has gone back to the first light. So that is where we want to add the score. Okay. So in order to add the score or in order to count the score, you need variable. The score is going to be a variable. A variable is a value that can change itself. What happened, Abdul Hadi? So in order to check the score, what we need to do is we need to create a variable. Abdul Hadi, सब ठीक है? कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है बेटे?
No.
अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम हो तो मुझे बताना, ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
Okay, good. Now tell me that what is a variable? I am going to repeat it again. A variable can be any value that can change itself while you are playing this game. For example, the score is a variable because the score is going to change itself. It's going to update its value. The score is going to increase or it is going to go back to zero when you start the game. So that is why we are going to call it a variable. A variable is supposed to change its value. A variable is supposed to change its value. So in order to change the value, we are going to go to the variable blocks and create a new variable by clicking on make a variable. So once you click on make a variable, there would be a window in front of you which asks you what is going to be the name of the variable. As we want to count the score, so we will say that the name of the variable is score.
Sir,
So
I have made the variable.
Good, Zarar. So now you have got a variable and its name is score. Actually, we couldn't create it, so let's try to do that again. Make a variable, write the name of the variable that you want to use. We want to use the score variable, so we will write that name. And then there are two options which says for all sprites or for this sprite only. Right now, we are going to keep it for all sprites so that this variable is accessible by every character that you have in this game. Okay, so we're going to keep it to for all sprites. A sprite is a character, just to be clear about that. Okay, next what we do is that after creating this variable, I'm going to click on OK. And now you will see that there is a variable score here and it is also showing here. We can show or hide a variable by clicking on these small arrow here, small check mark here, small tick here. So if I uncheck that box, the variable will disappear. And if I click it, it is going to come back. Also, you can choose how the variable looks on the screen. Okay. So you can right click on this variable and select these three options. First is normal readout. Right now we are on a normal readout. We can make it to the large readout also. So this is the large readout. Okay. And then there is the slider option also. You can use the slider option if you want. But right now we will only use this normal readout. You can change how the variables look and you can change their position also. Where do you want to show them? Like I don't want it here. I can put it here on this side also. I can put it here also. So wherever I think that the variable can be placed where it would look good, I can just place it there. I can place it here also. But a good position might be the top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right or bottom left. I will always suggest you to have the variable or the scores on the top, but know that they can be placed anywhere that we want. Now,
Sir, I have them on the top left.
Okay, top left is a good position. Okay, now how do we make this variable change its value? You want this variable to increase by 1 point every time it restarts from the right side. Okay, so if this variable goes here and then comes back here, we will count it as one score. So this is the code block that is helping us do that. It helps us to start this variable on the right side and then make it move on the left side. So every time it is going to come on the left side and go back, we are going to change our variable by 1. So you can see this block says change my variable by 1. So you're going to just put this out, which says change my variable by 1, and click on this drop down menu and go to the variable which is important for us. Right now we are showing score. So I will make sure that the score changes by 1 every time this happens. And I'm going to put it here and I'm going to start the game now. Now you will see that the variable is going to change by 1 every time you complete a successful jump. Every time you jump one, the variable changes its value. But if you can't complete your jump, the variable does not change its value. And now there is one problem in this variable. Can someone tell me what is the problem? Can someone figure out what is the problem? Zarar, what do you think is the problem right now?
Sir, I don't know.
Okay, look at the score. How much score do I have right now?
You have 8 score.
And what should happen if I start the game again? Where the score should be? Should it be at 8 or should it start back from 0?
It should start back from 0.
Okay, so now tell me that if it is happening, is the score going back to 0? Every time I start the game, the score starts exactly from where it was left, right? Every time we start the game, the score basically starts counting from its previous value. Like if the previous value was 15, it starts from 15. Right now, it is 16. Now, when I will press the flag, it is going to start from 16, which is wrong for the gameplay. It means that someone can play 2 times and score more points, right? So we can say that we can fix this by making sure that this score goes back to 0 every time you start the game. Okay. So how can we fix that? We can fix that by using this block, which says set my variable to 0. It says set my variable to 0. And what you have here is you need to change it to score. So you will say set score to 0. But when do you set score to 0? You set score to 0 when you start this game. So, and how are we starting this game? How does this game start? Abdul Hadi,
Sir, what are you saying?
I am saying that, do you know when does this game start working?
Sir, when green flag clicks, set score to 0. And we have to put it in the forever block.
We are not supposed to put the set score to 0 in the forever block because we don't want score to always go back to 0. Okay, keep on going back. We don't want the score to keep on going back to 0. We want the score to go back to 0. We want the score to go
Green
back
flag
to
is clicked.
when the flag is clicked, right? So we are going to put it under when flag is clicked like that. And now when you will press on the flag button, you will see that the score goes back to 0 and it starts from there. 0 every time you start this game. See? Now when you will start it, it's going to start from 0. And now after making the basic structure of the game, you can make improvements in that. Improvements you can make by increasing the jump speed, maybe if you want. So in order to increase the jump speed, what you need to do is reduce the number of steps and increase the change y by values. Now your jump speed is going to be a little quicker than previous. You can see, it is the jump speed now. So you can figure out how to do that, and it's not very difficult. Also, if you think that the hedgehog size is kind of a little big for this game and it makes it difficult, because the game that is going to be very difficult is going to become boring. So you can decrease the hedgehog's size also. And in order to change the hedgehog size, what you can do is go to the hedgehog and make its size a little more smaller, like 40. Start the game again. And you can start playing it. And it is now a little easier than it was before. Okay. So that is what you can do with your game. Also, if you think that the cat is running speed is kind of a little slow, you can make it faster by, instead of waiting for 0.1 second, you can wait for 0.05 seconds and it would look a little better. And there is one last thing that you can do to make this game more difficult. Okay, so let's say that we want to make this game more difficult. How can we make it more difficult? We can make it more difficult by maybe having more than one hedgehogs in our game. Currently, we have one hedgehog which is programmed perfectly. So now let's have another hedgehog. So in order to use another hedgehog, you are going to just right click on your hedgehog and duplicate it. Now you have two hedgehogs. And the first hedgehog starts exactly when you press the flag. The second hedgehog should start a little late. So in order to make it wait for some time before starting to move, we can go to the control block and bring out this block which says wait 1 second. And now, as you know that the hedgehog takes 2 seconds to go from right side to the left side. So if we ask the hedgehog to wait for 1 second, it would be very good. See? And also what one thing that you can do is that ask your character to hide when you press the flag and ask your character to show again when it has waited for 1 second. So it does not show on screen for 1 second. What happens if I don't use this? What happens if I don't use this is something like that. You will see two hedgehogs. One would start moving, the other would stop. See, now I would see the first one is starting, the other will wait for 1 second and it would start moving after that. So let's just change the order a little. We are going to wait 1 second after going to this position. And now you will see the difference. Now you have a game in which there are two hedgehogs, and this game is now more interesting because you would have to more quickly jump in between. But this is the glitch here. See, you see the two hedgehogs there standing there. So the first one starts moving, but the other one is not moving. So we can hide this for some time, for 1 second. We can hide this for 1 second and then just ask it to show up again after 1 second like this one. So now it looks more smooth. Okay. So you have already created the code for this and the code for this. All you need to do is just duplicate that. I will show you the process once again. Duplicate this hedgehog to make this game more interesting and just ask your hedgehog to wait for 1 second before starting to loop, before starting to move and reappear on your screen. You are just going to ask the second hedgehog, see the hedgehog 2. You are going to ask it to wait for 1 second and hide at first and show up after waiting 1 second. So that is how you're going to put hide and show. And then you will see that there is one hedgehog, the second hedgehog starts coming, and you now get more points in this game by making sure that the hedgehogs are not touched. Okay, so this is the part of the game that we have made today. Now, let me stop recording.